Hi, I'm Dan Parker, Lego artist. Today we're going to be looking at building tugboats, like the ones that you might see at Olympia Harbor Days. And we're going to build this tugboat using very simple methods so that you can build it with your collection at home. We're building this tugboat using a simple brick stacking technique where we stagger the bricks. So this right here is going to be part of our bow. And I'm going to make 2 of those. Okay, like this. And I'm going to connect those in front with another staggered stack, like this. Okay. Now behind that, I'm then going to use, in back of the 2x2s, I'm going to use 2x3s. And again, with a staggered stack like that. Okay, and I'm going to do the same on the other side. What this is doing is it's forming the curve of the bow of the boat. Okay. So I've got a 1x2, I've got 2x2s, I've got 2x3s. In back of the 2x3s, I'm going to be using 2x4s. And here's where it gets just a little wobbly, but you should still be able to hang on to it okay. I'll set it down on the table. What I'm using now is I'm using, along with the 2x4, I'm using a 1x6, like that. I'll do the same on the other side. And we're going to build a tugboat that's about that long. So I've got the bow formed, I've got the sides. So I'm going to be doing the reverse stagger on the back of the boat. The back of the tug. Okay, so we got this again a little wobbly until we get the deck on. So in back of that, I'm going to be building, the reverse stagger. Start to bring the back of what's called the stern of the boat in. And because the stern is always a little bit more blunted than the bow, I'm going to form it like that. I'm going to just be putting on some simple 4x8 plates for the widest part. You'd call the beam. These plates being 8 studs wide, they go across the beam of the boat. And then the front, of course, slopes up a bit. And you've got the back. And I should finish the front of this with some smaller pieces yet, but there you have it. You have a very simple tugboat hull. Now we're building the wheelhouse on the deck. And before I get to that, I've already finished the last of the deck itself with a couple of small plates. And I'm going to start my wheelhouse right here. This is just a 1x4 brick. And behind that, I'm going to be putting pieces that you might normally use on the top of the roof of a house, for the bottom of the doorways. Okay, I'm going to put that in right there. On top of that, I'm going to be using some common windows. Let's put that in right there and right there. And behind that, let's put these pieces on the deck. And I'll stack that up like that. And you can form the wheelhouse any way you want it. I've seen some very, very interesting shapes. Okay, so that piece is the back of the doorway. And before I go any farther, I've got a little steering wheel right here. Let's put a brick under that. And we're going to insert that in there. This makes it pretty tight for the captain, but you'll get the idea once it comes together. Again, you can form the wheelhouse any way you want to. Really get creative with that. So we've got that now, and there is the back of the wheelhouse. And I'm going to squeeze that together like that. And we're going to put that on the top. Okay, we have a smokestack here, and the smokestack is simply a bunch of bricks, and there's a few plates, 2 white ones, 2 green ones. Give the smokestack a little bit of color. So I'm going to put that back together. And that's going to go on the back. Okay, we've got a wheelhouse. That's pretty simple. Again, you can get creative with all kinds of shapes. You can make it longer. You could add some windows back here. We made this one pretty simple. Let's look at adding some deck accessories now. And we might take this piece. This has a bit of string on it. And you might recognize this from a fire set or a gas truck set. We're going to use that as the winch on a deck. And we also have some cylinders here and a 1x4 plate. So I'm going to put the cylinders actually not in the anti-studs, but on the spaces between studs. And I'm going to put that right here, centered on the back of the boat. Okay, what are some other accessories you might add? Well, we've got life preservers, and you might recognize this from some sets. That adds some really nice color to the boat. It's certainly something you're going to find on a boat. And we might add some chains to the deck. And you could add them by maybe draping them over the work stands. You can put them on the deck like that. Well, boats are also going to have lights. And this is so that the boats don't run into each other when they're out on the water. So we're going to add a port. And then a green one for starboard. So it's red and green. The captain needs a radio. So we could add, you might find this in a police set. We've got a walkie-talkie right there. And, of course, when the boats are at the pier, when they're tied up, you've got the cleats. And let me get that straight on there like that. So you might add, this is just a little 1x1 plate with a top clip, or 1x1 tile with a top clip. You might add those for cleats. And again, get creative. There are a lot of pieces in your collection that you might use for a boat like this. And there you have it. Oh, wait a minute. Our boat's done, but we don't have a captain. We don't have a skipper. So there is our little boat captain. Ready to go. Well, hope you enjoyed looking at or learning how to make a tugboat. And following this are some other examples of tugboats that we've made in the past. You guys have a great day.